Alright, yes, week 2 is out of the way. We're there, we've got through another week. This is, it's going alright so far. Oh boy, if these do go on for a while, I don't know if I'm gonna have to start coming up with some kind of opening for this or not, but can't whoop every time, can I? Well, maybe. So we've got through 2 weeks of lockdown now, so we are all still here. You know, everything's still turning, the sky's still up, the ground is still down, so everything's, you know, if that's alright, then, you know, we're doing okay. Now last week I talked a little bit about ways about staying positive, staying in a routine, keeping yourself in a good mental state. This week what I would kind of like to talk about a little bit is good and bad habits. So when I say good and bad habits, I'm talking specifically about ones that you may have developed or found during your time in lockdown. So to give you an example, I have found or noticed a few good and bad habits of my own. I'll start off with the bad habits that I've found. I've found that I've been sleeping in a little bit more than I should be, really. I do kind of feel like it's necessary a little bit to still get up in a decent time and not lose that daily rhythm of getting up, getting yourself ready, and getting on with things that you could be doing, like tidying, cleaning, cooking, regular things like that you would have to do on a day-to-day basis. So I kind of feel like I set some alarms in the morning and I'm now in the habit of just kind of switching them off and ignoring them a little bit. So I feel like that's something that I'm gonna have to really get in the habit of getting out of very soon. Don't get me wrong though, at the moment I'm loving it because this is the most sleep that I have gotten in months and I feel really good for it, but it's still a habit that's gonna have to go at some point. Getting up at like 9:30, 9:45 every morning when I'm supposed to be working, when that happens again, probably not a good idea. Another habit that I've noticed, I'm not really certain that this is a bad habit, I don't really know, but for the last 2 weeks I have not worn deodorant once. Now this kind of came about because I was a little bit like, I don't want to run out of this, so the best way for me to not run out is to not use it. Like, I'm not going to be going anywhere and I am still showering every single day. I'm still fresh as a daisy in the mornings. I'm not going out, I'm not exerting myself, I'm not sweating a whole lot. So I feel like deodorant is a little bit kind of not really needed at the moment. Now again, I'm not saying that that's a bad habit because I'm not exactly, you know, ripe because of it. But at the same time, it's probably not exactly like the best habit to start forming. And I know that as soon as I have to start going back out again and going back to work, I'm gonna start putting it back on again. But for now, it's just like, not a whole lot of point. And obviously another bad habit that I've kind of found myself in is I'm not exercising, working out as much as I otherwise usually would, but that's mainly because when I'm at the gym, I do a lot of free weight stuff and I don't have that equipment with me. So finding something that can replace that in your day-to-day lockdown lifestyle is quite difficult. So the flip side of that is that I have started doing different kinds of things. I'm doing more sort of cardio stuff, a little bit more intensive movement rather than just weights. So that's been a bit of a change, been a little bit of a shock to the system. My muscles are sore, but for different reasons now, so it's a little bit strange. So I don't really know if that's a bad habit. It's just, I guess it's kind of different, I suppose. Now, some good habits that I have found, and I implore you all to think about some of the good habits that you are developing as well, because this is important. Focus on some good habits that you've started to form and how you're going to keep those going when the world goes back to functioning as it usually does. I have actually been eating and drinking a lot more. Now I know that sounds like a bad habit, but in my day-to-day life, I have a tendency to completely forget to eat Lunch especially is bad for me, and I tend not to drink a whole lot of water when I should do. But over the last 2 weeks, I've been eating lunch every day, and I am the most hydrated I have been in a long time because I constantly have a drink in my hand, which is fantastic. So I'm just like super hydrated, and I feel way more energetic because of it. Usually I would come home and I'd eat dinner and then I'd feel really sluggish, I'd feel like headachy, I'd feel pretty rotten because I haven't eaten or drunk enough during the day to keep me going. And at the moment I feel really good and energized, which I really like. Another good habit is that, as you can probably tell, I've been pretty productive over the last couple of weeks. I've got through a lot of things that I've been wanting to do for a while. There are things that have been put up on the wall now that I've been meaning to hang up. There's stuff that's been painted around the house I've been meaning to do for a while. There's just things that have been needing to be fixed or cleared or tidied or organized, and it's kind of been done, and I've been getting through a lot more editing of videos, much like this one that I've been meaning to do as well. So I've actually found myself in a good habit of being quite productive as well, and I implore you all out there as well to find things that you can be productive on and feel that sense of achievement of having cleared something off of your to-do list or whatever it is that you might have. I might even go so far as to say that I'm actually not finding this lockdown thing all so bad. I don't know if that's a little bit too soon to say that, but maybe that's just my uber positive outlook on things. But I've actually got through quite a lot of stuff, and I feel pretty good because of it. I don't know, maybe that will all change. I hope it doesn't, but I don't know, we'll find out. So some other things that we've been doing as well, I found some cool tours online that you can take. There, a lot of museums have been putting up virtual tours of their exhibits online for you to go and look through, and again, I encourage everyone to look up some things like this. If you've ever wondered what it's like inside of certain museums in places that you've never been to, you can probably find something like these online. Pick up that book that you've been wanting to read for a while. Take a tour or a course online, a short course of something that you've wanted. Learn a language if you want to. If you've always said, I want to learn a language, now is a time to pick that up. And then once you start doing that, you will work out ways of bringing that into your regular everyday life to carry that on. You'll find the time. And I think that ultimately the outcome is that if you start these things now, you are more likely to find a way of fitting that into your regular life after all of this than you would be if you tried to start it at that point. So now is at least the time to start. So good and bad habits, let's hear from you. What are some bad habits that you've developed? Have you just been wearing pajamas this entire time? Or, perhaps not even that? Have you not been showering regularly? What are some good habits that you've picked up that you've found? Let's hear from you in the comments below. Let's talk lockdown. Last week I did give you a brain teaser to work on, which was the mathematician, the physicist, and the engineer building a fence. If you don't know what the brain teaser was, you can see that in my last video, so pause it here, go back, watch that, come back, work it out. But the answer to that one was that the mathematician builds a circular fence around himself and claims that everything else is on the inside and that he's on the outside of the fence. And that's the most efficient fence that you could build. Brain teaser for this week, something a little bit more simple to get your heads around. It's very straightforward, this one. So a sundial is a timepiece that has the least amount of moving pieces. But what kind of timepiece has the most moving pieces? Something for you to wrap your heads around there. So as always, if you have liked this video and you would like to see some more, you can click right here to subscribe and see some more funky fresh videos from yours truly. And until that point, everyone, do stay hydrated. I can testify to this now. It's important. Stay hydrated. Hydrate or dihydrate.